Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, you can hear me, good. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tianwei. I'm the co-founder and deputy CEO of FAST. So FAST has been around for quite a while. We are a business banking platform that has been giving coverage for over 200,000 small businesses across Singapore and Indonesia. But today I'm here and I'm excited to talk about StraitsX. StraitsX is the Web3 arm of FAST that have been pushing on the digital assets payment infrastructure for over the last 5 years. So we have been very fortunate to be in this space in Southeast Asia for the last couple of years, and we have been having the privilege, the ability to serve more than 20 digital platforms across this region. So some of them are very known household brands that you guys probably already know, from the largest, some of the most international digital assets exchanges, to some of the more pioneering DeFi exchanges in the world. We have the privilege to basically grow and help them with the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp solution for the last couple of years itself. But that space has been, however, growing very rapidly for ourselves. We have seen the rise and the turn of the market very rapidly over the couple of years through the couple of different bear market and bull cycle. However, last year itself has been one of the best years for the industry as a whole. Over in this part of the world, we saw more than $2.5 billion Sing dollars being processed by us, that's for our payment partners, that's needing for them to on-ramp and off-ramp to this platform. So in 2019, riding on the success of providing payment infrastructure for a lot of these companies, a lot of our partners have been talking about a need for a stablecoin solution that's non-US dollars. So that is when we came together with a couple of different players in the industry in 2019 to launch XSUD, which is our flagship product under the brand name of StraitsX, which is a non-US dollar stablecoin backed by the Sing dollar itself under our existing licenses. And that itself has already been live since 2019 first on the Ethereum and Zilliqa blockchain, and recently on the Polygon blockchain itself. And we most recently also launched XIDR, which is at the start of this year, which is our rupiah-backed token, rupiah currency-backed token in Indonesia itself. So I think the audience is probably very, very familiar with stablecoin itself. So I don't have to tell you guys the needs for stablecoin, but maybe more specifically on the different currency needs. However, not all stablecoins are built the same in this part of the world. I think in general, there are 4 major categories. The fiat-backed stablecoin, which is where XSUD is. We are fully backed by Sing dollar itself. Actually, when we first launched the product, it is regulated under the e-money regime in Singapore. That's why every dollar of our stablecoin is backed by a $1 or Sing dollar in our Singapore government-backed banks, right? Other than XSUD and the likes of USDC, which is our fiat-backed stablecoin, another major category of stablecoins are the commodity-backed one. That a good example is Paxos Gold, that probably a lot of you are familiar with. Besides commodity-backed one, there are also crypto-backed stablecoins such as DAI that has been widely used in this industry as well. And of course, last but not least, the more exciting space that we have been seeing in the last couple of years, which is the algorithmic stablecoin side of space. But again, we want to re-emphasize, right, that XSUD and XIDR has always been, from day one, a one-to-one backed, fiat-backed stablecoin that is regulated under the existing licenses that we have across both Singapore and Indonesia. We have been working with the regulator very closely since 2019, and that is the reason why we're able to do and continue serving the community that we have. So then the correct question to ask ourselves here is, why StraitsX? Why a stablecoin that's denominated in non-US dollars itself? So this is what we truly believe as a firm at StraitsX over here, right? 98% of the stablecoin in the world right now that's in the market, that's circulating, is still denominated in US dollars. That doesn't quite make sense for us, right? FAST, or StraitsX itself, is Singapore-based, and we have much market of customers across Singapore and Indonesia. What we realized very, very quickly that it doesn't make sense for stablecoin solution to only be backed in US dollars. There's a very large untapped market in this part of the world as well. So I think maybe to just jump right into to talk a bit about Southeast Asia itself, right? I think the latest Google reports have already showcased that this part of the world is one of the fastest growing world in terms of economy. But more importantly, we have a very large, untapped, and fast young audience of 400 million of adults across Southeast Asia itself. And we are still seeing, however, more than 200 million of them, almost half of them, they're still underbanked and underserved in this part of the world. And this is where there's a large, untapped opportunity for blockchains and digital assets to make a difference in this part of the world. This is where we, as StraitsX here, believe that a lot of the technology and the advantage that blockchain bring about in the world beyond the speculative side really have very real-world use cases here, right? I think the programmability nature of stablecoin and blockchain technology has allowed us to basically build better product that is at a lower cost, unit economical-wise, to serve a lot of the underserved economy in this part of the world, right? Imagine, financial product, insurance product, and services that typically are only accessible to the more high net worth individual today can be done fractionalized-wise at a very cheap cost for a lot of the emerging market players, especially in Indonesia itself. Besides programmability, I think we have been a local players in the payment industry for the last 5 to 6 years, right? And what we have noticed that a lot of the folks, when they come to Southeast Asia, they will imagine that this is one country, right? But the actual fact, Southeast Asia consists of more than 10 different geographic countries itself, each with their own local domestic payment infrastructure. And FAST has been at the frontier of trying to push for that. Over the last 6 years, we have made quite a bit of headwinds in that direction, where we have been connecting local domestic payments across Singapore and Indonesia. But a lot still have to be done, and that's where we saw opportunity to leverage blockchain technology to help to bring about much more faster settlement speed at lower cost. And last but not least, this is another piece that we have been seeing in the market, despite fintech bloom in this part of the world for the last 6 years, right? We are still seeing many of these players out there. They're still building walled gardens, right? Every part of the world, you see the folks like Grab, Shopee, all of them are coming up with their own ecosystem, building walled gardens in terms of e-wallet that is not accessible to other developers. And this is what we feel that a stablecoin solution backed by local currency in this part of the world that is open, that's interoperable, will allow more innovation and different developers to start building on it and basically make this part a much better system for the rest of the world. So we launched the XSGD itself back in 2019 itself, and we're very happy to share that by today, it's already one of the largest non-US dollars backed stablecoin in the world by market cap. And thanks to our partners in the ecosystem, we have support for many of the exchanges which used to be our client in the first place. So some centralized exchanges that you probably all know of, like Crypto.com and Luno and Liquid itself, to decentralized exchanges like 1inch, like Uniswap and DFX. These are where XSGDs are really listed and traded on a daily basis. Do check them out. Of course, besides exchanges partner, we also understand that there is also need to make sure that XSGD and XIDR are going to be first-class citizens in some of the platform that's needed to make this ecosystem work, right? So we're very happy to share that we also have been first-class citizens in non-custody wallets such as MetaMask and Ledger. And we also have partnership with institutional custody to make sure that if you are integrating such solution, you can quickly get up to speed without having to spend time building up from scratch again. And most importantly, right, as a payment infrastructure company from day one, have always been focused on providing real-world utility in this part of the world, right? So we have partnered with some of the best players in this industry to start building up solutions that have real-world application beyond speculation in this part of the world. So you're going to see XSGD being used in payments and invoicing solution, in lending and earn products as across this kind of company, and also more towards the liquidity mining side of things. So since our launch in 2019, we are very happy to share that there are more than $7 billion worth of XSGD have been transacted on-chain. And the pace of this transaction have been increasing. And we are able to do so because there has been major focus on compliance. So we are a major payment institution that's licensed and regulated by MAS, and we have been in the space for the last 6 years. So by working very closely with the regulators and the police force, has enabled us to make sure that infrastructure continue remaining stable and allowing this to have a sustainability that's needed, right? So players that have been using us for the last 6 years can see the same level of assurance in terms of protection of their funds, in terms of stability, in terms of not ensuring their rails don't get shut down overnight. And today, we can see XSGD and XIDR across StraitsX serving more than 200,000 users across Southeast Asia. And this is, again, fast growing for us. And our products have expanded beyond just a basic on-ramp and off-ramp channel. We have the direct mint services, which allow a lot of exchanges and Web3 company to directly take XSGD as a form of payment directly via our API onto the chain itself without needing to interact with the local licenses and have us take care of all of that. If you need large OTC transaction, you can come to StraitsX. They will help you convert from stablecoin like USDC, USDP to Sing dollars and back to vice versa. And of course, our Earn product, which is the latest ever added to our suite of product, has been very exciting in terms of offering stable, safe earns for XHUD use. And last but not least, right, this is something that's very, very happy to share about. At the start of this year, riding on the success that we have built over the last 2 years, we have launched XIDR, our Indonesia Rupiah stablecoin that we believe is going to be the bedrock for us to potentially help to provide better financial services to the underbanked and unbanked in Indonesia itself. Right, if you take a closer look at Indonesia, right, these are stats that probably you can find online as well. Internet penetration rate in Indonesia have reached 82.5%, right? And Indonesia represents almost half the population of Southeast Asia, right? Everyone will be telling you Southeast Asia is a big thriving market, but the honest fact is it represents half of the population is actually in Indonesia itself. But if you look at what Bitcoin Association of Indonesia will tell you, the number of users that have access to digital assets in Indonesia is still 7.4 million, which is less than 3% of the entire population. That is why I would say that this field is ripe for disruption. There's a lot of opportunity over here that's waiting for a lot of players like you guys over here to start targeting Southeast Asia and especially Indonesia. And that's why we believe XIDR will be a product that will allow you guys to enter this space quickly with the rails that you're already familiar with. Backed by our existing licenses and our on-ramp and off-ramp channel, we will be able to allow you to get your Web3 product or your latest technology on the blockchain side to get to the audience that we already serve today. So with that, my name is Tianwei. I'm one of the co-founders of StraitsX itself. If you guys are keen to know more and would like to serve this part of the market and you need a player that's licensed, regulated, and have the know-how in the business, do come to our booth at M60s or reach out to us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter itself. Thank you, everyone.